So I finished work today as it's Ramadan. Working hours are less. This makes me question every day why should we work in normal days around 8 or 9 hours? It's actually in the Middle East 9 hours of work. It's different maybe in Europe or even the US. So during Ramadan, it goes to between 6 to 8 hours according to the industry, or if it's a government or a public sector, public public or private sector. Sorry. Yeah, so less working hours, but still the same effort and the same time wastage, maybe. So this is my main issue with work. I'm not sure if most of us are doing the correct shit. My stomach hurts a lot, feeling bloated. Yeah, so as I was saying, it's about work. Uh, I need to shave my beard also, and my jaw still because of the surgery. 2 minutes video. Let's watch it.
I don't know, Chestnut. Stop asking me. Where would the old man go?
Wait. Let's repeat everything. It's not that I'm still new, but my camera was lost the video. Let's go to history. Yeah, so as I was saying, look at this. Complete useless. Why is it dancing? This thing is useful. Yeah, I was talking about it. And as I said, it looks like a McLaren, but not from the back. Look over here. Anyways, history. Let's watch Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Sir Duncan!
Spoilers ahead.
My lord.
And this little shit lied to his father and Duncan.
What father says I am to
He did not even, I think, speak to his father, so he lied only
serve
to
you.
Duncan. Liar. And this fool trusted him easily.
Serve you, sir. Chestnut's yours. Treat her kindly. And I don't want to find you on Thunder unless I put you there.
Where are we going, sir?
Don't know. Suppose we could go anywhere in the Seven Kingdoms, though I've never been
No.
to.
Just posted the ending, seriously.
Paranoia is starting to consume Theo Von, and it's getting worse. Spotify's greed is finally backfiring. As it turns out, getting mentioned in the Epstein files wasn't Spotify's only bad news this year, because everyone is now leaving the platform. And it makes sense when you see them lying about their mission.
We've always thought about how we can grow the number of creators that are successful on Spotify, and it really started with music in itself fairly.
Honestly, I think it's a small percentage. although they advertise a lot Spotify, but no one uses them actually. There's YouTube Music. Majority, I think, although it has, of course, a base Spotify, but now everyone is shifting, I think, to YouTube Music. Even they are trying to put some features over there on YouTube Music for podcasts. And in the Middle East, I'm not sure if Angham is still alive also. Is it shut down or still there? Yeah, it's still there, yeah. But who the hell uses it? It's YouTube now, YouTube Music. More than enough.
compensating the artists that are on the platform.
Their CEO's origin story being completely fake. Or even with recent news that Spotify may have allegedly become a vessel for money laundering. But really, the final nail in the coffin is their plan to now replace artists entirely with AI artists, all while hollowing out the entire listening experience with AI algorithms made to make you listen to this stuff, or so that they can nickel and dime real creators with mass-produced garbage AI, while at the same time endlessly raising their prices. So it's understandable why people are leaving the platform en masse these days. But the real question is,
But where did this idea come from? How did AI dominate, for example? Where are these creators or like music? Where is this music coming from?
why are they even doing all of this to begin with? Well, it does start to make sense when you realize Spotify was never a music company. Their first patents talk about distributing films, TV shows, pictures, and whatever else they could get their hands on, as they wanted to dominate the entire entertainment industry, but they settled for music because it was the softest target. And despite what he says in his LinkedIn posts, Daniel Ek and his co-founder were never really music people either. Now, Ek often boasts about his childhood passion for playing the guitar, a detail which helps you stomach the idea that Spotify is trying to save music. For her brilliant book on Spotify, Mood Machine, Liz Pelly interviewed people who knew Daniel Ek when he was a kid. They told her that he was nothing special in that way, playing an instrument was normally mandatory in Swedish schools. Instead, his talent was in business and advertising. At 13, Ek was a kid growing up in Sweden at the turn of the millennium. Even this young, he was already a businessman. By building and selling websites to small Swedish companies, he was already earning more than his teachers. And over the next few years, he bounced around various startups, working on things like a viral online game called Stardoll, where he would make vital connections in the advertising industry. But his first real money came from the sale of his startup Advertigo, which allowed him at the age of 23 to have already made over $1 million. But this was only the start, as by now, Sweden was well on their way to a digital revolution. A massive internet infrastructure project had put the country at the very forefront of technology. In fact, it was Sweden that gave birth to the Pirate Bay, which would later become the premier website for online piracy and file sharing.
These crazy people, they sit all day long in their rooms and they start creating. So many great startups and projects from them.
During the early 2000s, Daniel watched as the site and its founders exploded in popularity, and then just got completely torn apart in the courts. This was a really unique problem. Tons of people just preferred file sharing and piracy. Even with the legal problems and the shady method and the risks involved, people chose online downloads over buying CDs or DVDs in person. It was clear that convenience was the most important thing for people above everything else. Meanwhile, the big record labels had been powerless to stop the Pirate Bay. They could arrest the founders and throw their weight around, but they couldn't really stop progress and rewind the clock. It was especially bad for the music industry. Music was much quicker to download than full movies or TV shows. Record label profits had been sinking like a rock in water for years, and there were no signs of recovery. Meanwhile, their own efforts to make an alternative to the Pirate Bay had been almost hopeless. Early attempts like Press Play, a streaming service sponsored by Universal and Sony, were called stunningly brain-dead by journalists because of the hard limits on songs you could place of free music. And so, with a small loan of €1 million from
What do you think about A Night of the Seven Kingdoms? I think it's amazing. I am really, really, really pleasantly surprised by how good this show is. I'm very upset that the next episode
It was amazing, and sadly, the Breaking Bad fans ruined the scores, ruined the ratings. Honestly, the fifth episode deserved a 10 out of 10. Everything about the episode was perfect. The flashbacks, the emotions, the killing, the ending, the beginning, everything was perfect about it.
episode's the final one of the season, but I'm hoping it won't be like a fucking 5-year wait for the next one. It's extraordinary. They
The next season should be next year, I think, in January.
plan on releasing a season a year. Well, that's good. I actually just read something. I don't remember where it was from, but it was about JRPGs in Japan and how a lot of people, like younger generation, no longer feel attachment to like Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest. And the reason is because it takes so long to develop these games that people's entire childhood goes by with either one game or no games added to it. So it's very
If he's talking about Final Fantasy, yeah, exactly. This is exactly what happened actually with us also as kids. I've played Final Fantasy VII and some other seasons, and that's it. And now even when they developed, or I think they released on PS5, even because of the exclusivity, was it Final Fantasy 15 or 16? I'm not sure. And it took around maybe a year and a half or 2 years. Maybe they did not even release it on PC. It was exclusive only on PS5. And I think it never released on PC. Never got the chance to try it. It was, and I saw the gameplay, open world. I forgot actually the details, but it was this guy in an open world and all these missions. But yeah, sadly, Final Fantasy did not even touch it again at all. I just remember Lightning from Final Fantasy 11, I think, or 12. That's it. And then you have Sephiroth from 7. I think I played a little bit the remake, but never again.
very hard for the like new generation to get like passionate about a property. And it's such an interesting thing because I never really stopped to think about it. It's a really good point. Because growing up, like early 2000s, you were getting a season of Sopranos a year, right? You were getting a new Final Fantasy a year. You were getting a new Halo every couple of years. So you could grow up with these properties and they become like an integral part of like your palate, like your taste. And that's just not the case anymore. So like Stranger Things, for example. Let's say you were 5 years old when Stranger Things started. You're in high school by the time it ends. And you've seen 5 seasons. Like it's so different. It's impossible now for anyone to grow up with like an attachment to these properties because you just don't get much of it. Game of Thrones was every year until the final year. Oh yeah, Game of Thrones is another good example. Streaming also made it less of an event, even if
Yeah, surprisingly, Game of Thrones. It doesn't even feel now. Yeah, of course, you have maybe a gap of 10 to 15 years, and I almost forgot the whole series. I was thinking about rewatching it actually, adding it to House of Dragons and then ending it with the Night of Seven Kingdoms. But yeah, Game of Thrones. I remember I was still maybe in high school, my last years in high school, or maybe beginning of college, university.
Game of Thrones only released on streaming, it wouldn't have had the same cultural effect as weekly airing. Well, you're talking about the binge model, that's two separate things. I agree. I think binge is obsolete now. Weekly, I think, is king. That show for
Binge is obsolete, especially in anime, I think also. Japanese anime, for me especially, weekly, I can't wait weekly. I need to binge watch them.
me was Dexter. Good times. Oh, Dexter's another good example. I never finished Dexter. I dropped it after the Trinity Killer, but yeah. The Walking Dead, another.
I did not get the chance to watch The Walking Dead.
Let's imagine.
Hopefully, when he says saturated markets, he's talking about something globally. Not only one thing, maybe not only selling a product or something, because this also can help maybe with crypto also.
That you're in the absolute biggest red ocean, right? Red ocean being it's super populated, there's blood in the water, right?
YouTube.
Do you think the business advice niche is populated? Do you think there's a lot of red ocean in business advice? Yeah, probably, right?
Yes.
And so, should I have not gotten into this? The bloodier the water, it means the more fish are there. And so,
it's basic business. Now I don't have that much of experience, but yeah, of course, it's basic business. Where the competition is, you need to grow over there. That's why not only Pepsi or Coca-Cola exists. You get another 100 brands also. It's as simple as it is, yeah. So let's
where
continue.
there's the fiercest competition, there's also oftentimes the biggest rewards. Now, that being said, how do we merge this concept with the idea of you should niche down? Wait, Alex, I thought you wrote a book that said, hey, the riches are in the niches, right? So how do we merge these two ideas? Let me explain, because I get questions about this. In the beginning, you want to artificially constrain the pond that you're going after so that you can compete in a place where the sharks aren't swimming, okay? So you want to be the biggest guy in a puddle. That's what you want to do, biggest guy in a puddle. And then you say, you know what? I'm going to go from a puddle to a pond because I think I'm too big for this puddle. And so you grow, and then you go to the pond. And then once you go from the pond, you say, you know what? I'm going to go to a lake. Now I'm in a lake because I'm an even bigger fishy, right? Now I'm in a lake. And then eventually you get to the point where you say, you know what?
Ocean,
I
river,
think
rubber,
that
rubber.
I'm big enough to go into open class, open market, and fight in the ocean. Now, if we were to look at this trajectory, I started as a trainer. And I talked about nutrition and stuff. And then I talked about gym stuff. And then I started talking about business stuff. So you're going to have evolutions where you can
But this evolution from here to here is nothing to do with these.
get big enough for a pond that you can move on from the pond to the lake and the lake to the ocean. It's just that it's directly correlated with your skill and your experience. And so the reason that the riches are in the niches is that when you're there, number one, you're competing against fewer people. And so the upside is capped, typically. Now, it's usually capped at way higher than you think it is, but it is capped to a degree, and that's okay. But as a result, because we are niche down, we're able to charge niche prices, which give us more profit, more pricing power, because there's fewer people, there's fewer things to compare you against, right? And so there does come a time where you can go move the market, right? Move your market, rather, to go after a different segment or a broader segment. So let me walk through how to think through this evolution for a business. So let's say that your current business is this little dot here, okay? There are 5 directions that we can move with this dot. We can go, so let's imagine we've got a triangle of a marketplace, okay? So this is where you inhabit. You can go up market, all right? So for example, in my gym launch days, I could, instead of serving single location fragmented gym owners, I could go to franchisers, right? Multi-location owners, and there's fewer gyms. Maybe I talk about health and wellness in general.
Let's watch this. It's actually
When I asked you before this conversation started rolling, what you're really excited about at the moment, your response to me was, there was a few things, but one of them, which lit up your face, was creatine.
Yes. And it's funny because...
It lit up your face again.
Yeah, it's funny because creatine has been around for, ever, for decades.
She's addicted to creatine. Although it's very important, actually, it helped me a lot. I'm taking daily 5 grams, but its main problem with the what was it called? The monohydrate? The main problem with that is the water weight. If I take it consistently or I start increasing the volume, my body turns into a huge bubble.
Decades. And it's always been, in my mind, it was like one of those gym bro things. I'm like, I don't need to be swole.
Yeah.
I don't need creatine to get swole. And, this was the thought for many, many years. And then over the last 5 years or so, the effects of creatine on the brain started to really get my interest. Anything that affects the brain, I really...
If and I hope this is true. I need to test it also. I'll be trying it. I will continue now the video, but as she's claiming over here, she's taking 25 grams, which I think is impossible. Your whole jar will even finish. I usually get 1 kg creatine every now and then, but 25 grams, that's insane, I think. You would start even, and the problem is that I take the 5 grams as dry scoop also. I rarely mix it, and she said something about mixing it with coffee, so maybe I can try. We can test it also. The main issue is the 25 grams because that will cost a lot. Although creatine is not that expensive to buy, but yeah, it's still the amount is insane. And if it really helps the brain, then that's also solving a problem, especially if sleep loss. Now I need to also know if it will affect the sleep quality or what was it called? The melatonin?
Become interested in. And so that's kind of what did get me the most excited about creatine. But also I started doing a lot of resistance training. And so I was like, okay, here I am now. I'm like one of those gym guys. I'm doing the barbells, I'm doing the squats and the deadlifts and all that. And so why not give myself some of the creatine? Well, what is creatine, right? Why is it important? You talked about earlier, why doesn't our body just make more of these things that are so beneficial? We do make creatine. We make about, our liver makes about
2-3 grams.
1 to 3 grams a day of creatine. And our brain also makes creatine. And those are the two organs that make it. Creatine gets consumed by other tissues, like the muscle is probably the one that's the greediest because creatine is stored as phosphocreatine, but it's used to make energy, essentially. So it can increase muscle mass, it can increase muscle strength in combination with resistance training because you're able to regenerate and make energy faster.
But what about the water weight? As I said, this is the main concern. Although it's useful, I've seen some benefits, of course, in the gym. Mentally, I'm not sure about the brain. Let's continue.
So, for example, I became interested in it after reading studies where people that supplemented with creatine that were engaged in resistance training were able to gain more lean body mass, they were able to gain more strength. It was increasing their training volume. So you can do 1 to 2 more reps, right, of whatever exercise you're doing. And it seems to decrease the recovery time between those sets as well. So you're able to increase your training volume. Well, anything that's going to increase your training volume is going to then have the downstream effect of increasing the adaptations, like increased muscle mass or increased muscle strength. I started supplementing with creatine about a year ago. And I started supplementing with it for that reason, for my training. And I was doing about 5 grams a day because that was really what was shown to be beneficial for muscle health in combination with resistance training. And it's important for people to realize that supplementing with creatine by itself without any type of resistance training isn't going to grow your muscle. It's not going to make you stronger. You have to put in the effort because what creatine is doing, it's helping you make the energy quicker, right? And then being able to make that energy quicker means that you're able to then do that exercise better, harder, more of it, right? So it's sort of supercharging your exercise routine. And 5 grams a day was like, okay, perfect. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing 5 grams a day. And definitely noticed an effect on my training volume where I was, doing more reps. So that was like, okay, a year ago. I'd already been aware of the effects on the brain. I thought maybe the 5 grams a day would do that. So what are the effects on the brain? Well, your brain also consumes a lot of energy, needs a lot of energy. So it does make its own creatine. But it turns out if you can give your brain more of that creatine, particularly under a period of anything that's causing stress. So let's say lack of sleep, or let's say emotional, psychological stress, or in my case, high cognitive load, where you're just every day learning concepts, complex things, you're trying to remember them, you're putting ideas together and coming up with new hypotheses, and you're studying a lot, and it's very cognitively demanding, and it's a type of stress on your brain. That's like my life, right? Under this condition of stress, depression's another one that's a stress on your brain, or neurodegenerative disease, that's a stress on your brain. So any kind of stressful condition, that's where creatine shines in the brain. I would argue that all of us, who has the perfect amount of sleep, never has stress? Nobody, right? There's always some sort of stress in the background. So that's when I was like, okay, so if you're the perfect person, you have no stress, you get the perfect amount of sleep every night, your brain makes enough creatine to kind of do what it needs to do. I know that I'm constantly under stress. So I'm like, okay, well, I think I need a boost. And this is where a lot of very interesting studies have come.
Imagine this. I was earlier talking about it. You finish work, you start your day with your job, 9 to 5, for example. Then you have your gym, and then you need to start planning, and you're worrying about what to do next. For example, if you want to do the side hustle or like at least achieve something. And this is what I'm trying to do. So maybe she has a point. 5 grams can help your body with strength and maybe like rebuilding it, helping you get more volume of training. But the brain, is it really getting enough creatine? And if it got What's the results? This is the thing.
Come out of many different labs, some out of Germany that looked at the dose of creatine and how it increases creatine levels in the brain. And this is why I now supplement with 10 grams a day. So the study out of Germany found that 5 grams a day of creatine, if you're supplementing with 5 grams a day, your muscles are greedily consuming it, particularly if you're working out. They want it. They want it. After about 5 grams a day, especially over a few months, like you're saturating your muscle, and that's enough, right? Anything above that kind of spills over to the brain. And so what this German study found was that 10 grams of creatine increased creatine levels in several different regions of the brain. And that was probably the most exciting, I would say, evidence that supplementing higher than 5 grams a day was actually doing something in terms of getting creatine to the brain. There have now been a variety of studies that have looked at different outcomes, right? So if you supplement with 10 grams of creatine or even go higher than that, like 20 grams of creatine, how does that affect cognitive function, right? And so some of these studies have been done by Dr. Darren Kandau. He's at the University of Virginia in Canada. And they've looked at things like sleep deprivation. And it's been found that if you take someone and you sleep deprive them for 21 hours and give them about 25 to 30 grams of creatine, it completely negates the cognitive deficits of sleep deprivation. Actually, not only does it negate the cognitive deficits of sleep deprivation, it makes people function better than if they were well rested. That's where I was like, wait a minute. There's many times when I'm traveling, I'm jet lagged, lots of times when I'm sleep deprived and I have to be doing a podcast or a presentation, whatever. And in those situations, I go up from my 10 grams to more like 20 grams, like today, for example. I wasn't really sleep deprived, but there's a lot of high cognitive demand. This is a long podcast.
But what about the side effects? This is the main issue. Side effects. You can't literally chug 20 grams of creatine one time. What will happen if I consume more than 5 grams of creatine?
There's all that stuff. And so I went up to 20 grams today on my creatine. And I will say,
see possible side effects. Now, of course, we won't go immediately and trust ChatGPT, but still, for healthy adults, creatine 5 grams standard maintenance, 10 to 20 days, often used during a loading phase. Still, it's more gym concentrate. Long dosage is safe in healthy individuals. So if you take 6, 7, if you constantly take too much, especially 10 grams without splitting it, we need to split it over here, okay? You might experience stomach discomfort. Usually happens to me. Man, I've lived some days. I've had days where I would take creatine early in the morning, go straight to work, knowing that I will go to the gym at night, for example. But after taking the creatine, I would feel stomach discomfort the maximum, especially with this bloating also. And then the air would get trapped inside my stomach. I would feel horrible for the next 8-9 hours at work. This never. Water retention, yeah. I would drink so much water and physically I would look bloated always. Mild cramping, no. Maybe, yeah, a little bit. Not sure if it's only for women over here. You mentioned before something yeah, see? She knows me. High doses can definitely make, okay, creatine pulls water into muscle, yeah. Does more creatine more muscle? No, this is not, yeah, exactly. We need this. I'm searching about the brain. Let's continue playing with it till we ask her about the brain. What about taking 25 grams in a day? Will it help my brain? Split. Take 25 grams in a day. Will it help my brain? Are there any researches? I think Grok would do a better job than ChatGPT. I started losing trust in this. Creatine can affect the brain, but evidence is limited. Creatine is stored in muscle. The brain also uses it for energy. It helps replenish ATP, which is the fuel brain cells use. Nice. Some studies find cognitive benefits like improvement in memory, attention time, processing speed, especially under stress. Man, I swear, this is the first time I know about this. It's actually something very good and useful. Look at this, see? I usually put my legs up. the number one, the best creatine supplement, using it for more than 4 years now, but taking it with limited quantity. Very limited quantity. It's like maybe 3 to 4 grams daily. And with this new supplement box that I ordered, they bring you a scoop also. And especially when you buy the animal creatine, I'm not trying to promote it over here, but when you buy this new blue one, it has the scoop in it, and the powder is really soft. It's not like the previous one, or not like the other creatine supplements. But yeah, this thing is very useful. Helped me a lot in the gym. I think I'll start increasing the doses to check the difference. Around 24. Wait, let's continue reading. A single high dose. Wait. What about high doses like 25 grams per day? Short-term high dose can increase brain creatine a bit. Some research indicate that doses around 20-30 grams day for a short period, like 7 days, can increase creatine availability in the brain more than typical doses. A single high dose around 25 grams for 70. Sleep deprivation. My sleep is getting better actually. I'm well enough with 5 to 6 hours of sleep. And I'm sleeping very early actually, around maybe 10, 11 p.m. sometimes. But evidence of rested, okay. Where creatine might help cognition, sleep deprivation, good. High doses help. I need something to make us concentrate more and work more on ourselves under metabolic or neurological stress. Maybe, yeah, this can help also. Possible mood or amazing. This one is great actually. Early research suggests creatine may help brain energy, metabolism, and mood disorders or brain injury recovery, but is primarily, I think, can it maybe help after eating food when you feel sluggish, if you eat too much, for example? Safe. Creatine gel is safe for most healthy people at normal. Larger doses like 20-30 grams can increase digestive side effects. Maybe stress kidneys if they're underlying kidney disease or poor hydration. This is a very important point. It's not that I barely drink water, but I forget to drink water. Healthcare professionals often recommend only short-term high dosing. Like sleep, boost your brain possible advantage, short-term improvement in creating cognitive tasks under stress or sleep deprivation. May increase brain creatine more than 5 grams, but how much that matters for everyday thinking isn't proven. Limitations, no solid evidence. I wanted to ask something else also. Creatine. If I took another dose at night, will it keep me awake? Nice. Take another dose at night will not directly keep you awake. Doesn't affect adrenaline, nervous system, increase heart rate. Doesn't increase heart rate. Good. Doesn't contain caffeine. So it's not a mental alertness supplement. Good. Feeling slightly wired, but here's when it might affect sleep. Some people report feeling slightly wired, more mental clarity, restless sleep. This usually happens if dose is very high, you're dehydrated, you train late. This is, one of them. Train late and your nervous system is already stimulated. But over here, okay, so you trained late, you're spending more energy thinking, creating something maybe, being online, stacking with caffeine pre-workout. Yeah, this is another problem now. It's almost late over here and I'm drinking coffee. Turkish coffee or Lebanese coffee. Another important factor, water. Creatine pulls water into muscles. If you take a big dose at night, don't hydrate, wake up to pee multiple times, that can disturb sleep directly. So basically, there's a 50-50 chance You want just straight up sleep 7 to 8 hours. For you, based on your routine, train regularly, care about recovery, sometimes deal with energy fluctuations. She knows everything about me over here. Best move, take your full 5 in the day or split. No, I need to take more. I need to take more. I'm thinking about increasing the dose to 15 to 20 grams, splitting it 10 to 10 in a day. Improve brain performance. A smart strategy, and put important question, blah blah blah. Risk of 20 grams daily, bloating water. See, as long as it doesn't have the severe risks, I think it's okay. We need to risk it also, right? Something is floating. I can see it on my camera screen now. It's only my shadow. Yeah. So as long as it doesn't affect any heart rate or something, I don't think it will affect us unless it hurts our kidneys. This is the main issue. I think this is the main problem. Let's make it or niche it down to brain performance. All right, if your goal is improving brain performance, let's process into intelligently instead of just throwing 20 grams of creatine at it. I'm still trying to digest burping some food out. Creatine helps brain cells produce ATP. Okay, it may improve working memory and processing speed. Benefits are more noticeable when you are sleep deprived, mentally fatigued, under stress, vegetarian. Lower baseline creatine levels. No. We eat lots of meat, lots and lots of meat. Me, as a Lebanese, we eat raw meat, bro. But in healthy, well rested adults, the effect's modest. So it doesn't affect. What about 15 to 20? They previously, when I used to watch videos, they made it as a crime to take more than 5 grams. 5 grams and that's it. 5 grams and more than enough. Blah blah blah. High doses, 20 grams. Have been studied? Blah blah blah. Important. Your context, train regularly. Sometimes have energy fluctuation. Care about optimization. Brain performance is influenced far more by not sure if smoking is allowed on YouTube, so I need to. And I'm not smoking. Don't even smoke. Don't recommend smoking, of course. Sleep quality, blood glucose. I think this one over here, because I eat sometimes lots of sugars, and this caffeine. Caffeine is going to kill me one day. Screen exposure before bed, yeah, happening, and the hydration. We have so many issues over here. We need to fix them. Smarter brain optimization stack. If the goal is mental sharpness, 7 base level. Base level, most important. Most important. Where did we stop? Lost my memory. Base level, most important. 7 to 8 hours sleep, stable meal timing, 3 to 4 liters. This I'm lacking over here. Morning sunshine. Yep, I'm getting it. Supplement level, creatine 5 gram. Magnesium. I was literally thinking about it. Nope. Can be supplemented with fish, right? And we are still daily abusing this. Literally drank a Red Bull before this, and then now I'm drinking coffee. Small portions, yeah, but the Red Bull killed it. Try 15 for 5 days only. Split into 4 doses. 5 to reduce GI issues. What's GI? Gastro something? Gastric intestines issues? Hydrate properly, track focus, reaction speed, sleep, and mood. It reminds me of the of ashwagandha days when I used to take ashwagandha. That shit really had an effect. Ashwagandha, yes, it has an effect. It's like living in another world. You don't even care properly about things. Real truth. And I think it shaped me actually also. I stopped ashwagandha, but till this date, if I want to treat something which is very, very serious, calmly. Super calm. There is no supplement that replaces deep sleep. It's not about deep sleep actually. I think 5 to 6 hours deep sleep is very hard to achieve when you have also a job. Maybe you're achieving it 2-3 hours after sleeping overall 6 to 7 hours, but still, deep sleep is not important. Although overall the sleep, of course, is important. Discipline, yeah, but discipline with what? Low distraction, mental training. Need to study more about these. If you want, tell me how many hours you sleep, blah 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 blah. My headphones, I think they switched off automatically. They automatically go off.
Say, even at the 10 grams, for me, we were talking about this with respect to being in ketosis. I don't feel that mid-afternoon crash when I have the creatine. Not being on a ketogenic diet, not being in ketosis. It's very clear for me, and I've done this, where about this with respect to being in ketosis. I don't feel that mid-afternoon crash when I have the creatine. Not being on a ketogenic diet, not being in ketosis.
This is another important thing, sorry. This is another important thing because, yeah, usually sometimes I feel the crashes also.
It's very clear for me, and I've done this, where sometimes I only do 5 grams, and then if I do that, I'll notice, I'm like, why am I tired right now? So there's something interesting, and maybe it's placebo. I'm gonna throw that out there, very possible. But I don't know, maybe the creatine is, again, it's able to regenerate that energy quicker, and so that's also beneficial for the brain. And now I would say all these creatine researchers, a lot of them are shifting to the brain. It used to be all muscle focused, and now people are super interested in what creatine is doing to the brain, especially if you're supplementing with more of it. And this is important for people that are under a stressful situation, but also for vegans, because creatine is found in food, mostly in animal products like meat and poultry and fish, dairy. A lot of vegans don't eat that. And I've had so many of my vegan friends, I've got them on the creatine and it's changed their lives. I mean, they're like, this is like incredible. Can you imagine someone who's not getting any creatine from their diet because they eat no meat, and all of a sudden they start supplementing with 5-10 grams of creatine, and it's like they have energy. Some people say they require less sleep, which is kind of interesting. That's kind of a comment I've heard many times from people, is that it's like the brain doesn't need as much sleep. They have more energy. So I've been a big fan of the creatine, not only for the muscle, especially because, working out is something that's very important, but for the brain as well.
Okay, enough about creatine. Talking some health.
Call of Duty new skins. So Operator Bundle, Gorlock the Destroyer, includes the Devastator Rifle Blueprint, Mini Gorlock Charm, the Crushing Embrace Finisher. Bro, what is this?
This is not real, man. There's no way this is real. This BYD looks like a Bugatti. Wow, really nice. It's the car that we reacted to earlier. Looks like a McLaren.
I can't give you the...
So it's the BYD. I thought it was Xiaomi actually. Watch one creatine video and now it's all about health over here. Oh, amazing. This, mashallah. Just imagine unboxing your car, your supercar. He has a Quran?
I had a friend of mine yesterday who's a Muslim who got me a Quran. So we're going to read it. Because I've always wondered
Treat it with respect, bro.
what's actually. Here's the thing, right? Is that I've always wondered what's actually in the book. What are they actually saying? I'm going to find out. I had a friend of mine yesterday who's a Muslim. who
Not
got me
read
a
anything
Quran.
from it. Yeah, but good luck with that, bro. I don't expect him. Of course, no, I need to be positive about this. I don't expect him, or hopefully he changes his mind one day and he turns into Islam, but still, I think with his lifestyle, it's far way impossible. Not like this guy, actually. Thing is, he's doing. I never followed his news again. 1 year ago, since a year ago, I'm not reading or watching anything about him. It's only now that Sneeko is fighting him back, and he's winning. Sneeko is winning. Actually, is a very great guy. He posted a tweet about this, right? What's the user? Who's posting such things? I'm not. Okay, so it's a description only over here. He deleted the. Okay. 23K likes. 2.3 million views. For what? The grok is this real? So did Andrew Tate really fall? Is it the downfall of Andrew Tate? Because now everyone is bullying him online. Even the red pill side. It's only maybe Myron Gaines that he's defending him or protecting him. And look over here, I have in my sections over here, the Tate protest. This is like maybe 2-3 years ago. Let's go to explore again. Andrew Tate. Musk endorses memes on media, amplifying fringe views. This is about Europe, right? Nigeria's ad policy uses local models, not a race ban. Huh?
I know you're wondering what I'm doing here. I think you've already said it out loud. Andrew, why are you in Istanbul? Don't worry, I'll tell you. I'm here to do the only thing I travel for, which is business. I only travel for money. I'm really not that interested in traveling for fun. Walking around with a guidebook and looking at a church
I destroyed
doesn't
my
interest me.
webpage. Got stuck. I zoomed in like crazy. Is it still working? Oh shit. Should I close the window or what exactly? Okay, wait.
From Istanbul. I think I have a meeting in about an hour, just enough time to talk to my friends. I know you're wondering what I'm doing here. I think you've already said it out loud. Andrew, why are you in Istanbul? Don't worry, I'll tell you. I'm here to do the only thing I travel for, which is business. I only travel for money. I'm really not that interested in traveling for fun. Walking around with a guidebook and looking at a church doesn't interest me because I'm not retarded. Do you understand? Being amongst all the peasants and the people and walking around going, this church was built by some guy. I don't care.
Yeah, like who the hell does these things? I do agree actually, because it's something that I feel or I think that most moms maybe, or the single ladies, they do all of these stupid things.
I'm building my own empire. I don't give a shit. I actually like history. I like to be amongst it while ignoring it. You know? I'm planning for the future, which is my money. So I don't really like leaving the house.
He's still funny. You can't blame him. He knows how to speak. I've tried my best to master his ways of speaking. It never happens. And I think it's mostly about the language, English. You need to master speaking English properly, and you need to have the proper grammar.
Unless I'm going to get paid, which means I only really travel for business. Why should I be forced to endure the president's suite of the Shangri-La Hotel Istanbul for anything less than $50 million? Think I'm going to come here for fucking free? I know to you people that's your dream. Hey, honey, I've saved up all year and we can go to the president's suite of the Shangri-La. Might get your peep.
No, even if people save, they don't. I think they travel on budget. They're always poor if they're saving. That's why you need to skip traveling. They need to skip traveling and start building, maybe.
PP sucked. Unfortunately, my PP is oversucked. Too sucked. Too many women want to suck my PP, so I'm really not that interested in flying women around to let them do what they already want to do at home. They all want to suck my PP in my penthouse in Dubai, or my mansion in Romania, or Budapest. All my mansions, in fact, want to suck my PP in fucking Miami. There's not a city in the world where women don't want to suck my PP, so I'm really...
Stop, come on, okay?
Really not trying to fly them anywhere to get it done.
Get to the point, bro.
And while I was here conducting business, you know, it's so easy to avoid business travel now.
I was looking at the title. What the hell is he wants to deliver, and why is he talking too much about peepees?
It's probably one of the things I hate most about the modern world is that everything's so impersonal. It's all just like emails and text messages, a WhatsApp message. You get an email. This probably happens to you all the time. You open your email. Hello, Mr. Tate. Your account has been credited with $9,843,121. You know, you wake up on Monday, you get $9.1 million. You know what I mean. Happens to you all the time, right? And you're just like, oh, this is so impersonal. You know? The money's all right. It's a week's spending money. But
Bullshit.
Where's the James Bond? You know, like you used to be rich. You used to have a suit on. You know?
You need the action and all of this bullshit that he's trying to talk about.
A cigar. Being rich used to be a thing.
He was much more entertaining, man. He was also funnier. He still has some points, but it's becoming boring to watch him, actually.
Not like he's rich so he does things. It would be like, what's he doing? Well, he's doing nothing, but he's being rich, so he's doing something. You know? I don't want an email about the money you put into my account. I want a check that I have to cash with the Turkish bank. That's what I want. I want to fly here on a private jet and get out of my private jet into the car of my security team. I want Tristan and I to ride in silence.
Complete bullshit. No one wants to stress about all of these things if you want to gain money also. You'd literally go banging your head on the wall just for waiting for the bank to finish. That's why even Bitcoin exists now. Because you don't want the delays of the bank. So you're talking about traveling and getting a James Bond level action just to cash a check out.
Smoking cigars with our heads on a swivel, looking around for any possible danger. I want to go to the bank and I want to say, bring me the manager. I have to cash a check. And I want the manager to turn up and go, oh, Mr. Tate, my son loves you. I know. I need to cash this check, sir. Oh, okay, well, we didn't know you were coming. Would you like a seat at the back? You know, I'm here to do business. You understand? That's my fun. My fun is doing business around the world in the way it used to be done. I don't like this new form of, bro. Hey, I sent you some Solana WhatsApp bullshit. Here's your USDT. All gay. Those are the kind of people who take their girls on holiday. All gay. Not my style. Old-fashioned kind of guy.
And then he tells you that he's gaining money and he's buying the dips and buy more this and he creates a coin also for himself.
So while I was here in Istanbul, I had a meeting with someone else who's making real money, serious money. You know, Turkey is one of those countries, very much like the stands, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, etc. It's kind of caught in between two worlds. It's caught in between China, Russia, Europe, the Middle East. Lots of money moves through here. It's not a poor country, it's a very rich country. And I was talking to a guy who's facilitating exactly that. And I came to a rather astute observation, and I thought I should tell the broke people at home this, because you poor people don't know any of these things. You poor people don't know anything about how the world works. You believe in the law and the news. You believe you need to work to get money. You think money's real. Who was the first person to say to you 5 years ago money's not real? And I was talking to him and I was saying, is it hard to make money in Turkey? What's Turkey like to live in? He was explaining how hard it is in Turkey, saying there's a big wealth gap. I'm like, yeah, same in England, same in America, everywhere's toast. He was talking about the difficulties of banking in Turkey, how controlled it is, the inflation, the fact the currency's spiraling. We were talking about all these things. But then he said, you know, but there's still ways to make money if you're smart enough.
There are lots of ways, actually. It's still not that easy. It's difficult. You need to try. You need to put effort in it. And this is our challenge. This is why we are suffering, actually, in our modern world. Most of us, yeah, maybe they're getting the idea or they have the idea, but they can't implement. This is the main issue that's happening with us.
And I said, is that how you...
Unless you go crazy like him, controversial and all of that bullshit.
think of people who don't make money, that they're not smart enough? Is that how you view them? And he put his drink down, removed his sunglasses, and looked me directly in the eye. And he said, no, I view people who don't make money as unlucky and disfavored by God. And I thought, wow, that's powerful. Tell me more. And we went on to have a very long conversation about how poor people are not lazy. The hardest jobs in the world are done by poor people. Cleaning the toilets is a hard job that poor people do. In fact, the poorest people in the world work the hardest. They have to walk 12 kilometers with a jug on their head to take a motherfucking bath. So you can work hard and still be poor. And there's lots of poor people who are smart. I know that because they all work for me. You know? Smart people hire people and pay them not very much money at all to keep the smart person's empire running.
This thing is the reality. We all know this, and it's now, the idea is oversaturated. Like it's everywhere. We all know that corporates, these huge companies, they're only keeping us as slaves, mini slaves, for little wages. And that's what we are trying to end, actually. Yeah, but still, let's continue.
So poor people must be smart because they're smart enough to make the rich person rich and keep the rich person wealthy. So it's not that they're lazy and they don't work hard. It's not that they're not smart. So why do some people escape the matrix and other people don't?
We need to escape, actually, the matrix. Yeah.
And we were talking about this for hours, and he gave me the very simple hypothesis. He said, God just likes some people, and he just doesn't like others. And the reason I don't talk to poor people is not because they're stupid or lazy. It's because I don't want unlucky people around me. If God has decided they deserve to suffer their entire consciousness as a peasant, then I don't think I should talk to them. If God has decided that they need to suffer serfdom for 80 long human years, then they're extremely unlucky and did something very bad in their past life. I don't want to talk to them. I was thinking about this all night. I was like, is that how rich people view poor people, as just unlucky? As just like lepers? You have some horrible disease? Why do rich people not talk to poor people? Why is it so hard for you to even interact with a billionaire? Why do I avoid poor people? I thought I avoided them because they were petty and dirty and jealous and small-minded, and they talk too much shit, and you can't trust them because if you involve them in a business deal, it's too tempting for them to steal because they need the money. I thought I had a bunch of other reasons, but maybe I do look at them and go, I started below you. You were raised in a dual-parent household, and your parents were relatively well off. You're middle class. I was raised in a single-parent household in the projects, and I got rich and you didn't. So how did I start below you and surpass you unless you are unlucky, unless God doesn't like you, unless you did something bad in a previous life? For some reason, you're being punished with this eternal, brokey existence. What have you done? So I started doing a little survey. I put together a voice note, and I said, hey, guys, I was just speaking to so-and-so, and he said that poor people...
But in this case, you as the rich person, as the wise, rich, mature person, needs to help the poor people. It's not helping them by giving them money, of course. Share your knowledge. This is what you started with, right? He started this idea that he wants to help everyone to escape the matrix. And he started selling his courses then and the crypto. But still, the idea is there. Like, he's trying to create, he's trying only to grab attention. It's very performative. But if you have the tools, then you can help others. And this is the best form of leadership, I think, helping others.
Are unlucky, and that you should avoid them because unluckiness is contagious, and that they're not favored by God, these people.
They are not unlucky. They are just stupid enough to fall into the modern world's trap. He mentioned about the traveling earlier, how they're saving up their money. This is another complete bullshit. I don't believe in traveling, actually. Although I worked my entire life, 10 years now in the hospitality industry. Yet I hate traveling. I know it's useless, worthless. You need to change. You need to take a breather or change your environment. You can't change it in your place.
And that no matter how bad your upbringing, no matter how bad your situation, he got out of the Turkish ghetto. I grew up in Gary, Indiana, then Luton, England, the two worst cities in America and England, respectively. And I managed to get out. So if you really want to get out, you can get out. You always find a way. But some people can start way up high. They can start with rich parents or middle income, and they still don't make it out. And his theory is that these people are just unlucky and God doesn't like them. What do you think? And I was amazed how many rich people agreed. So there you have it. There's the astute observation.
They would agree because it's easy to agree. Of course, you will not put more time thinking about the situation. But yeah, it's not about being unlucky. I think every human being can change whatever is happening with his life. And it's all about not being unlucky, but laziness, consistency, motivation, all of these things. How easy they think they can get the thing if they're putting effort or not.
Rich people don't think you're lazy, and rich people don't think you're stupid. They think you're unlucky, and they think God doesn't like you. Would you get in a car with a guy who God didn't like? Let's cut the bullshit. Final destination. Hi, guys. We're all going to go on a nice road trip. Okay, right. This is Mike. He's a barber. Hi, Mike. This is Steve. He's a butcher. Hi, Steve. And this is Ted. Ted hasn't got a job. God hates Ted. He's driving. No. Ted, you know what? The car ride's better without you, Ted. God doesn't like you for some reason. We might hit a deer. We might steer off the road. Who knows? And you can consider the car a analogy for starting a business or an opportunity. If I'm going to start a company, do I want to start a company with someone God doesn't like?
It's pure entertainment. Let's continue watching it.
Risk my capital and risk my life? Do I want someone God doesn't like on my jet? The ultra-wealthy of the world view the poor as disliked by God. And here is the real interesting thinking.
Maybe most of the rich population, they see them as unlucky. But still, I think the majority also tries maybe helping, or should try helping at least. They are greedy, of course. I think 90% maybe. 90% of the rich people are greedy maybe, and they will never share their knowledge for you to succeed. But if you get your way on the table, if you get a seat over there on the table, then maybe they can help you, of course. If you have the personality, if you have the proper attitude, maybe, or the sales mentality.
Because everybody is going to end up exactly what they're destined to be. If you're destined to be rich, nothing can stop you from being rich. And if you're destined to be poor, nothing can make you rich. You're going to stay poor forever.
Nothing will stop you getting rich, but of course with effort. Signs will be there. I'm not sure even if signs will be there. You need to put effort in that. Because, for example, I'm not rich and I'm talking to you now. But I can see the signs. And without the signs also, consistency, discipline, the hard work. Although many say that hard work is not important, but yes, hard work is actually important. The video that we were watching even earlier, reacting to the creatine. Why do I want to increase the creatine? So that I can at least get more energy after work, after my job. And this is another issue also. This is another topic. Leaving my job or not putting a priority on it, because I love working in the hospitality industry. I love my career. Regardless, putting more effort, talking about hard work. After work, and then gym, and then trying to maybe live stream or create something else on the side. These things are very critical. That's why, putting hard work especially. So don't call it just unlucky and people who are poor will stay poor, for example, broke.
Truthfully, I like to believe we decide our own destiny. So instead of viewing it as God only likes the rich people, God made the rich people lucky and the poor people unlucky, I think a better way...
Maybe he's attacking the liberals. Most probably these blue, pink, purple-haired people, he's attacking them because, this guy, God loves the rich or loves the lucky people and he hates me, for example. Or figuratively, I'm talking.
The way to view it is working hard at something and dedicating yourself and becoming rich so you can take care of the people you love and retire your mother and live a life worth living and leave a mark on this earth makes God like you. Perhaps it can be reversed. Perhaps God likes you once you make it, as opposed to you made it because God liked you. I think that's a better way to look at it. God didn't birth me to do anything less than be a seismic shift in culture, which is what I've been. My footprint on human consciousness is nearly unmatched by any other man. Everyone knows who I am. Everyone discusses what I do. My ideas have been debated all around the world at dinner tables in private, which I've never heard of, or on news shows with millions of viewers. My footprint has been seismic. That's what God birthed me for. And that's because I've worked very, very hard and made a whole lot of money, and I became so big that my ideas could not be ignored. That's why God likes me. And that's why, when I'm put in positions I should lose, I somehow just win. That's why I'm so lucky. I don't think I got here because I'm lucky. I think I'm lucky because I got here. And you need to make a decision. Assume I'm telling the truth. For argument's sake, are you prepared to dedicate yourself and work as hard as possible and do what must be done so that not only you can live a life worth living, not only you can...
Is he trying to promote his what was the school called? I swear I forgot it. Something university, right?
leave a mark on history. Not only can you take care of everyone you love, not only do you have the answer when your mother has cancer and needs medical treatment, not only can you do all of the beautiful things that a man should be able to do for those who he is taking care of, but also to be able to look in the mirror and say, I have made God happy with me. And for that reason, I know I'm lucky, because I wouldn't be here without luck. But all my hard work and dedication inspired God to give me what I believed I deserved and what I worked for. And now I know God is happy with me, so I am forever.
See, okay, 20-30% of the video is correct. Some good facts, something to remember. The other 60-70% is pure entertainment.
Bro, what is your problem? What is your problem? What is your problem?
See, the main problem is that they're giving space, or they're giving them this power to act like this. He needs to dump her, man. What's this? At least use her and dump her. Be the bad person in this. He turned weak now over here.
Problem, bro. Bro, what is your problem?
And then the stream just abruptly ends. So obviously, most people could guess what just happened. He caught his girlfriend cheating while on a date with hundreds of people watching. And the clip would
Wait, who kidnapped whom? He was talking about kidnapping at first. I was not
back then,
concentrating.
even drawing the attention of bigger streamers like FaZe Silky, who has also collaborated with Gara previously. And later that day, Gara called up Silky during his stream to explain exactly what he discovered on his girlfriend's phone. According to him, she'd been getting clever about how she was hiding her supposed cheating.
Silky, these bitches are getting clever, gang. You know what they're doing?
What?
And I noticed this in 1 second. Bro, when they link you, they're unsaving their numbers, so when they call them, it's random numbers, bro. Yo. and I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at every in her, and I'm looking at. I clicked the message. She said, "I miss you so bad." This, yo, a real conversation, gang, and it's all.
Oh,
like,
shit.
2 hours ago, bro. You yelling. 2 hours, like, you feel me? And I'm realizing this all in 1 second. I'm like. I swipe down to the notifications. I see the same number. Texted her. Unsaved number. Straight messages through that, gang.
So you started scrolling that mad fast. I see you scrolling mad fast.
Yo, I started scrolling mad fast, gang.
Nah, look at this nigga eyes. Yo, I'm looking at the clip, yo, bro.
Gara also posted about this incident on Twitter saying, disappointed. My fault. I didn't mean for it to go like that. Did only a 10-minute stream. Screw these girls. We on that grind. I'm way too genuine. Meanwhile, she called 12. So the girlfriend in question here is India, who goes by India Baby on social media. Similar to her ex-boyfriend, she's also what you would call a niche personality, but still pretty popular within her target audience. India's been within the streaming scene for a while now, dating back as far as 2020 when she used to play NBA 2K and GTA RP. As a result, she became popular in both these communities, and in the past, was also featured on one of Kai Cenat's E-Date streams.
Do you have any tattoos?
Do I have any tattoos? No.
Look at how fake they act. If you notice, if you compare what she was doing in the video with her ex-boyfriend, the person who's cheating on, and then now on the video cam also over here, she's talking in a very cute way. It's not only about her. Most of these girls are like 99% of women are like this actually.
Thank you.
I mean,
they're trying, to roll in.
It is safe to say this whole cheating story from 2024 gains an entirely different perspective when told from her point of view. Because when this clip was posted on Twitter claiming that she was Gara's wife at the time of the live stream, her followers were actually quick to correct that statement, saying that they weren't married or even together, but rather each other's exes at the time of that incident. So India not only confirmed this last statement, but also claimed that it was Gara who cheated on her first back in 2023. Since then, they haven't been back together, and this date he streamed where he caught her cheating was supposedly a second chance she gave him to fix things up, which
God, bullshit. I can't believe that.
to me sounds even crazier because why would they want to live stream that? I mean, it really just goes to show you that the internet has really messed up what people's perspective of a healthy relationship is. But I mean, hey, I guess if it goes really wrong or really right, that's content. Because that's like the only upside I can see with live streaming your entire life like this. And just like that, the stream ended. According to her Instagram stories, Gara had stolen
The fact that this Anne stole my bag, took the 3K I had in there and threw my bag in the lake. Crazy night I had, broke ass,
her
and
bag and then thrown it into a lake. He also
I will not believe her also. Let's continue and see.
apparently stole $3,000 from her. Jeez, that's a lot of money. And honestly, that was a massive red flag for what was going to come. And also a good reason for why she would want to call the cops on the guy after the date was over. Apparently, Gara and India's relationships have always been this like toxic pattern of breakup, makeup, and repeat. So we've already had confirmation that they were together in 2023 because that was when Gara allegedly first cheated on her. And it was also likely before June of that year because in June of 2023, India was spotted at a hotel with an upcoming Chicago artist by the name of Lil Jeremy hugging him. So I'm assuming they've already broken up at that point, but who knows? And it seems like they may have even been dating in 2022. Funnily enough, in October of 2024, 6 months after the whole restaurant incident, India reposted a TikTok video, I guess maybe a joke, about cheating being her favorite hobby. So, I mean, yeah, things get a little bit more complicated when the story goes to that gray area where it's hard to determine who's really at fault within the relationship and for why it didn't work out. But, you know, in most relationships, it's a two-way street. But either way, it definitely looks like we got two people bringing out the absolute worst in each other. And this was all in the midst of an extremely toxic 2-year relationship. But I guess little did anyone know that this would eventually escalate to something way more dangerous. Because fast forward to May 27th of this year, police reports of Gara's arrest started going viral after Twitter user NetClips posted Gara's mugshot on his page. And this was taken from the Miami-Dade County's mugshot Facebook page. And it's safe to say the charges were insane. You would think they were given to him in the Grand Theft Auto role-playing server. Kidnapping with a weapon, firearm, or aggravated battery. Burglary with assault or battery, punishable by life. Then finally, to top everything off, carrying a concealed weapon. According to official police statements, the cops responded to reports of a kidnapping at 538 Northeast 61st Street, Miami, Florida, following a 911 call from a female stating someone had a firearm to her head. And the incident had at least 4 witnesses, and even though India herself refused to give a statement and press charges against her streamer situationship, the witnesses...
How you posting him after you got him in jail? After he did what he did to me, the police were called to the scene by the witnesses. I refused to give a statement and did not press charges. He's in jail because of the witnesses, and it doesn't change the fact I still love and care about him even after he crashed out. So no, I didn't put him in jail. The state
didn't follow her lead and decided to cooperate with authorities independently. Allegedly, one of the witnesses was India's friend, who had recently arrived in town with the victim at the time of the incident, who reported that they were both staying at an Airbnb located at that address where the incident took place. And I'll be referring to them as Witness 1, as stated in the official document. And
I'm thinking about the Airbnb guy, the person, or yeah, it should be a person who gave them the property. And then it ended up with this crime.
They were the only ones in
the struggle, because I'm thinking about it from the perspective of hospitality. When for example, you're hosting or you're giving a room or a home to someone, and then this problem happens on your property.
Inside the apartment when Witness 1 heard a loud banging at the front door, and upon looking through the window, saw Gara trying to break in. Witness 1 then alerted India, and both tried to prevent Gara from entering by physically holding the door shut. Gara then climbed up to the balcony and entered the apartment through a sliding door. Meanwhile, both India and the Witness 1 ran to a bedroom, attempting to lock themselves in. Gara then forced the door open, preventing it from closing, and then entered the room, where he grabbed India and allegedly slammed her against the wall. He then took 2 cell phones from the bedroom nightstand and proceeded to throw them off of the balcony, all while India went downstairs to retrieve her phone. Witness 1 tried to follow her, but Gara grabbed them and threw them to the ground.
Yeah,
Gara
exactly.
then left the apartment and dragged India by her hair into a gray Mercedes-Benz parked outside. He then drove away from
basically, I started like therapy
I'm
and
done with
so
this
I've been in.
bullshit. Fuck off. She's half naked on the screen. I did not close it because of this, obviously, but still, it's a boring story. These idiots, they're fighting daily over there, and then they include race, black and white, police. Man, fix your shit. It's really funny. The estimate time is 51 seconds, and yet I'm still waiting around 6 minutes now. And this is like my third time. I've wasted 15 minutes only to find the game. Not sure exactly how Riot is doing this, but it's my fault actually, because I transferred to the Middle Eastern servers and it's bullshit. Not a TFT game, and not a normal game also. Complete bullshit. And now I need to pay again for their incompetent, proper structuring, stupidity to move. How much does it cost? I'm not even familiar. I stopped playing League, man, since maybe, before COVID actually. Account, transfers. Look at this shit now. 2,600. To transfer, most probably I'll go to Nordic, which was my previous server. Middle Eastern servers are shit. Or maybe EU West, where it has a very high volume, I think. But over here, I'm used to Polish people over here and learning Polish bad words. Anyways, you can see the shit over here, the crap that's happening. Quite surprised that even it's still alive. They need to separate this first, TFT, from the whole league. I'm not sure if they shared the reason. Maybe they spoke about it previously. I don't know, man. Someone waiting this much will lose patience, and will lose even the will to play. Let's try a normal game. Why thinking about your death will save your life? I think you shouldn't think about your death. You should live your life until death comes. This is the most logical way to think about it. What do you think Americans like? No. Let's see the segue. Very boring.
Wanna go outside?
He's like, no.
Oh, hey Avery. Mag dich nicht.
¿Cómo que está pasó?
Sácala de ahí.
¿A qué?
Warming up your whiskers, Sam?
Just warming himself up, as you can see.
Wanna go outside?
This is the end?
If they set that android free, it will be the end of all of us! No!
Guys. Okay, look. This is going to be insane. As soon as they have these robots out there, they're being mass produced. People are using them on a regular basis. Oh my God. Everybody is going to go absolutely f***ing insane over this. This is the end?
Hi! How old are y'all?
Ready? From Switzerland.
You from Switzerland? My chest says El Riz. Bro, I'm not even trying. Bro, stop saying El. I can get all A numbers right now if I wanted to. I got El Riz. All
I bet. Let me get some water. I gotta drink some water first. I'm about to get all of these numbers. Aye. Where's the water at? Y'all seen the water over here? Everybody recording, bruh. Chat, can y'all hear me? By the way, can y'all hear me? Who y'all here with?
We're friends. My boyfriend thinks.
What's fucking funny? Who laughing? Who the fuck laughing? Who
It's
laughing?
character, bro.
Fucking laughing. That's what the fuck I thought. You don't fucking laugh at me. The fuck?
Okay, you now have the moon. Put it where the moon is relative to Earth is this size.
think it is?
Right about there. That's about the right distance. That is way off. Okay? Okay. Okay. Just start backing up.
Yeah, and
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
turn around while you're going.
Keep going. That's about the Earth-Moon distance. You know why? You've been lied to by textbooks that have to squeeze them both into the same page. Okay, you now have the moon. Put it.
Will Trump say or in January?
He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to fuck around.
Will Trump say or in January?
He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to fuck around.
How much are your games now? How much are these?
$5 a piece. And which ones do you want?
There you go. And what about for this spot?
Oh,
you're
okay.
looking to buy those?
Yes.
Those are like $5.
No, they're not $5 a piece. How many do you want?
All these.
$20.
All right, and then 15 for these?
Sure.
35?
Yep.
I got two 20s.
You do? Okay. So I owe you 5?
Yes. Oh, yeah, perfect. How much are your games now? How much are these?
$5 a piece. And which ones do you want?
There you go.
Hey, I know you got a good grip, huh? You gotta do.
Why are you holding it down so hard? Look, it's literally a scanner. We could call the police right now. Look, this is the real one.
There, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay? Don't do that. What happened?
This is a scammer. You know what this is, right? This is illegal.
Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me call the police.
So, remember yesterday I told y'all somebody stole all my bank information? Right here. Right here.
You know what that is?
What happened? What did you do?
Oh, snap.
So you know how you check your whole desk?
Why? Because we're not up here.
Yup. And, yup, you sure do. That's a scanner.
Be careful, y'all. Look. Look. You see that shit?
This one is the overlay that captures your data when you type in your button.
Why are you holding it down so hard?
This
Look.
shit is very dangerous, man. Seriously?
Is it good?
It's really
Can I have your cherry?
Yeah, you can have my.
Alright,
We
cool,
can have
thanks.
the cherry at the bottom. Seriously, babe. Really?
Is it good?
It's really
Can I have your cherry?
Yeah, you can have my.
Alright,
We
cool,
can have
thanks.
the cherry at the bottom. Seriously, babe. Really?
$888 years in jail, in prison. Shit. Okay, so I think it's time to go. Let me just wrap up everything because today even did not start properly. Let me start planning. I need to work on something now also.